Attention passionate Chicago, Bears fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Chicago Bears' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Chicago Bears fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Chicago Bears fans. Let's get to the news now. If you've been paying close attention to the NFL buzz lately, you've probably heard whispers about a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape the NFC North. And no, it's not just idle chatter. It involves the Cincinnati Bengals and their wide receiver T. Higgins, and the implications for the Bears could be enormous. This isn't your typical rumor. It's a strategic move that could bolster Chicago's offense dramatically, giving the team a real shot at elevating their playoff chances, and who knows, maybe even pushing their Super Bowl aspirations further this season. Let's start with the current situation. The Bengals are sitting at a 4-8 record, and their defense has been leaking points like a sieve, allowing an average of 31.2 points per game. That's not just bad, it's almost historic for a team with playoff ambitions. Cincinnati's front office knows they need to hit the reset button, especially after losing some key pieces and dealing with injuries. Their past defense and overall team chemistry aren't what they used to be, and that's why they're considering parting ways with T. Higgins, a player who's been a bright spot on their roster since he was drafted in 2020. Higgins has been a reliable target for Joe Burrow, accumulating over 500 receiving yards and 35 touchdowns in his career so far. He's averaging nearly 15 yards per catch and has proven he can come through in clutch moments, evidenced by his two-time Pro Bowl selections and a solid PFF grade of 85.7 this season. He's caught 40 passes for 575 yards and 7 touchdowns in just 11 games, with a yards per game average of over 52 yards. His contested catch rate is impressive at 62%, and he's shown durability with 0 injuries so far in 2025. Higgins' athleticism is evident in his vertical jump, reaching 38 inches, making him a mismatch nightmare for defenders. Now, why would Cincinnati trade Higgins? Well, with a projected cap hit of around $28 million, the Bengals are eyeing a rebuild, focusing on extending their quarterback Joe Burrow and strengthening their defensive line. The team's recent struggles, giving up an alarming 374 points in 12 games, have made the front office prioritize youth and cap flexibility. They're looking for draft capital to fuel the rebuild, and reports suggest they're open to trading Higgins in exchange for first-round picks in 2026 and third-round picks in 2027. It's a strategic move to free up cap space and gather assets for the future, especially with Burrow's ongoing shoulder issues and Cincinnati's tough AFC North competition. For the Chicago Bears, this potential trade isn't just about adding another talented receiver. It's about transforming their offense into a juggernaut that can compete at the highest level. The Bears are currently averaging 24.1 points per game, but with Caleb Williams now at the helm, showing a completion percentage of 68.2%, and the addition of a big-time player like Higgins, that number could easily jump significantly. Experts project Higgins to contribute around 100 receiving yards and at least 5 more touchdowns. His ability to make contested catches and win against top cornerbacks would help elevate Chicago's passing game to new heights. Adding Higgins would also create mismatches across the field, especially against defenses that struggle against big, athletic receivers. His stats show that he's a clutch performer in the red zone, and his yards per route run increase by about 1/8 compared to other targets. The Bears' offensive line has been solid, but with Higgins stretching defenses vertically and making plays in tight coverage, the passing game becomes much more dynamic. Plus, with a manageable cap space of around $35 million available after restructuring some contracts, Chicago could make room to not just bring in Higgins, but also complement him with other weapons such as Keenan Allen, who's also been a reliable target with a PFF grade of 82. For this move could be the catalyst, the Bears need to push their Super Bowl odds further. Currently, their chances are around plus 3,000, but with Higgins in the fold, many analysts believe those odds could drop to plus 1,500, making them genuine contenders, especially in the playoffs. Higgins' presence would give Caleb Williams an elite target, boosting his chances of winning games in clutch moments and elevating Chicago's offense to a whole new level. The potential for the Bears to become a more balanced and explosive team right now is undeniable, and this trade could be the key to unlocking that potential. Now, it's worth mentioning how the trade could impact Chicago's overall strategy. The Bears have been building a young, talented roster, and adding Higgins aligns perfectly with their long-term vision. His experience, combined with his athleticism, makes him an ideal partner for a quarterback like Caleb Williams, who thrives on vertical throws and creating plays outside the pocket. Imagine Higgins stretching the field, drawing double coverage, opening up opportunities for other receivers, and even helping the Bears' red zone efficiency. The offense could become one of the most formidable in the league if this move comes to fruition. Of course, the trade also signals a shift in how the Bengals view their roster. They're prioritizing cap relief and draft capital over immediate success, knowing they need to rebuild around Burrow's prime years. Cincinnati is betting on youth and potential, which makes sense given their recent struggles and the injuries that hampered their season. But for the Bears, this is a golden opportunity. Acquiring a player like Higgins not only boosts their chances this year, but also sets them up for sustained success in the coming seasons. So what's next? If this trade happens, it could spark a ripple effect across the NFC North. The Bears would immediately elevate their offense, making them a more serious playoff contender. Opposing defenses would have to scheme around Higgins, Caleb Williams, and their other weapons, forcing teams to choose whether to double-team Higgins or focus on stopping the run. This kind of versatility is what separates good teams from great ones, and the Bears are inching closer to that level. As we watch this story unfold, it's clear that the NFL is always full of surprises. Trades like this can be game changers, and for Chicago fans, the prospect of adding a dynamic, athletic receiver like T. Higgins is incredibly exciting. It's not just about making a splash. It's about strategic moves to build a team capable of competing for a Super Bowl. The Bears have been on the rise, and with moves like this, they could be on their way to reclaiming their spot as NFC North Kings and ultimately contenders on the biggest stage of all. And now, Chicago Bears fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and the Chicago Bears. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates. So stay tuned for the latest Chicago Bears news.